Alright people, welcome back to Conquer and Commander. This is a Commander game featuring my Captain Sisay deck. If you want to see the complete deck list, go to puremtgo.com and look up my article series Conquer and Commander. You should see it right there. You'll also see, hopefully there'll be a list at some point, a link to the list in the video description. So let's take a look at my opponents right here. We've got Zirilan of the Claw, always fun, lots of dragons, good times. Teneb, which can be some sort of reanimator or rock variant. I thought I just turned off the sound. What the hell happened here? Off, damn it. Okay, there we go, finally. And then Ascendant Evincar. The good thing about the Evincar is that if he ever comes out, and I want to be really mean, I can tutor up Kamal and start killing off lands, but I'm generally not that mean. I've got a whole bunch of land in Sylvan Library. It's tempting to keep this hand because Sisay by herself can come out on turn 3 with Ancient Tomb, and since she's a tutor, she can pick up whatever you want. I don't think I keep it. Maybe I do keep it. I don't know. Do I? Oh, I do keep it. Okay. So I kept the hand specifically because, you know, having a tutor general means that you can, like, grab whatever you want. So Runetail is my first draw. Oh yeah, and this is another game where there's a bug, and my play space is the Sacred Foundry art right here. Slumbering Dragon comes out for Zirilan. I draw Azusa, and what I decide to do first is play Runetail so that Azusa doesn't get burnt. And Runetail flips automatically. Carnage Altar, the Stylus, which is good for the Zirilan player. Kadama's Reach for Teneb. So now, what I can do is I can go ahead and play Azusa, because I've still got a bunch of land in my hand here. And dump all the rest of the lands in my hand. Sign in Blood for the Evincar. And then nothing. Zirilan plays another land. And Heartstone. You know, I never really would have considered Heartstone for Zirilan, but it makes sense. I mean, the activated ability does cost 3, and it'll drop it down to 2. And if you have other dragons with activated abilities, that's not a bad card. And then what he does is he uses the Stylus on itself because he's tired of having to press OK all the time. And this is just an online issue. Like, basically you have to go ahead and press OK every time something happens in order to make sure that you can stylus something whenever you want. If you just don't want to deal with all those triggers, he's just getting rid of it. That happens sometimes. You just get frustrated. So Teneb plays Bloodline Keeper. Nice little token creator. So I finally play Cultivate, get all my lands out there, and then get Sisay out. And I ding the Evincar player for 1. So I've got Sylvan Library and Austere Command. Moan of, what is this? Moan of the Unhallowed for 2 zombies. So maybe he has a zombie theme? I'm not sure. Zirilan plays Dragon Master Outcast, and then he taps out. Basically, he's stuck on 3 lands. And he probably has a bunch of dragons in his hand, which always sucks. Bloodline Keeper makes a vampire. And then Teneb plays Precursor Golem. So it's interesting. It's a Teneb deck with some sort of like token theme or something. There's the vampire. I go ahead and harmonize to draw some more cards and play Sylvan Library. Now Teague is... I like playing Teague when I'm in a better position. Right now I'm not in the best position just because there's a bunch of tokens out there. If I really want to, I can Path to Exile something big, but there's nothing big right now. What I can do is Austere Command to get rid of all the little dudes out there if I want. Mainly because I've also used up Azusa's ability to ramp right now. Gate to Phyrexia, and then Bojuka Bog targeting me. That's fine. I'd rather have the Bojuka Bog deal with me now than hit me now than later on. Alright, Zirilan hits a 4th land, and has nothing else. So yeah, he's definitely got dragons in his hand, probably. Teneb makes another vampire token, and then a bunch of the tokens. I get all the golems, and then the vampire goes after the Evincar. So I think I'm pretty much done with taking all the tokens. And I don't mind blocking, obviously, because I have Runetail. And then Teneb plays Mirror Battlesphere. So yeah, more Mirror, more. So I search up Linvala specifically so that my plan right now is to austere command to get rid of all artifacts and small creatures, and then be able to play Linvala next turn if I want, so that he can't make more tokens with the Bloodline Keeper. There's a bunch of lands. I'm going to Time of Need for whatever I want. So there's the austere command. I get rid of Azusa. I look up Reki and I play him, because what I want to start doing now is drawing cards. And tutoring up Reki for Sisay decks is pretty common play, and I admit that I did this a lot. I fell into the trap. Oh yeah, this was interesting. Vile Rebirth. Exile target creature from a graveyard, put a zombie token into play. So yeah, he's definitely he exiles the battle sphere, puts a zombie in. And then he skull taps to sacrifice a creature and draw 2 cards. It's almost like he should be using Endrixar or something. I don't know. Then Wake Dancer, which creates a zombie with Morbid. Zirilan, again, stuck at 4 lands, does nothing. Bloodline Keeper comes after me. I'm already at 26 because I've had to use my Ancient Tomb so much. And the deck doesn't have a ton of life gain, so I've got to start being careful now. So what he plays Merciless Eviction to exile all creatures. Well, I don't mind exiling Captain Sisay because I could just put her in my command zone, but I do mind losing Reki, so I sacrifice Reki to my high market, and everything else goes away. So with the Sylvan Library, I end up grabbing Command Tower. I play Linvala first, and then I Time of Need for Michiko Kanda. That was a goofy Time of Need. I'm not really sure. I'm actually very sure that wasn't the best card to tutor for, but that's what I did tutor for. So yeah. Evincar plays Grave Pact with Festering Goblin. Luckily, he cannot sacrifice the Goblin because Linvala's out there. He can sacrifice it to Gate to Phyrexia, but there's no artifacts out there to blow up. Zirilan, once again. Oh no, there it is. Crucible of Worlds. Or Fire. Crucible of Fire. And then, with a Zirilan deck, you really have to add some mana ramp, like rocks and stuff like that, to really get going, because you don't want to be stuck with a ton of dragons in your hand. So there's Signet, which gives the Goblin, the Gate to Phyrexia, a target now. And then Sepulchral Primordial. Kaboom. And that's going to take Dragon Master, Outcast, and Reki. The Outcast is obviously far more scary at this point than Reki, but Sylvan Primordial reveals Homeward Path. Or not Sylvan Primordial. Sylvan Library reveals Homeward Path, so I can steal all those creatures back. And then the Outcast is not nearly as scary when the owner only has 4 lands. And there's Reki once again. And then I start drawing cards because I play Michiko Kanda. And I attack the Evincar player, I think. And then I play Teague. And the Zirilan player at that point quits. because he's just not drawing any land. At this point, I just don't want anything big and scary happening, and that's the whole reason I played Teague. I like things the way they are right now because I can play Sisay next turn. I can draw cards, by playing more of my stuff. I can next turn return to dust the Grave Pact or the Gate to Phyrexia. So he plays Mimic Vat, which is another thing that I can return to dust. No attack. I get attacked with Primordial. I can't drop to below 20 life, so I have to exile it. And Teneb comes out. Alright, fine. So now, duplicate. I put Lieutenant Kurtar in my top of my library, or I draw it, and I've got duplicate there, and I go after the Evincar player again. My problem is I forgot I tapped my mana wrong, and I can't return to dust anything right now, especially if I want to keep my one plains or white producing land up so that I can exile something that attacks me. So I'm slowly pecking away at the Evincar player. And now he finally sacrifices the Festering Goblin to destroy the Signet, which is going to get rid of Teneb, and I'm happy about that, but I'm going to have to get rid of one of these creatures. I'm going to get rid of Michiko to Grave Pact. And Michiko gets stuck under the Mimic Vat. And obviously he's trying to cast something that costs more than 4 mana. So Beast Within hits the Grave Pact, which is good. Solemn Simulacrum. Flicker Wisp. And what he does, this is a smart play, I wouldn't have thought about that. He Flicker Wisps my Rune Tail, because I'm at 24 life. When Rune Tail comes back, it won't be able to flip unless I gain some life. So there's Rune Tail back. Hey, look, Sword of Light and Shadow. Exactly what the doctor ordered. So that's going to help me gain a little bit of life. I'll put the sword on Linvala, and I'm starting to attack the Teneb player. Right now my threat assessment's a little goofy because even though the Evincar player isn't playing with extremely powerful cards, he's playing with synergistic cards, and the Teneb player isn't playing with really powerful cards either, but he's definitely being a thorn on my side right now. So instead of just focusing on one, I'm sort of spreading the damage around. I play Azusa just so I can draw another card. There's Raphelos. Once again, the Evincar is going to be... Oh, the Evincar comes out. And something died. I don't remember what it was. Oh, the Flicker Wisps. That's right. Yeah, Flicker Wisp went under the Mimic Vat. So then what he does is he's hoping that Teneb has something that can stop things. So he casts... or he uses the Mimic Vat to make a Flicker Wisp token to bounce Gadok Teague. But the Teneb player doesn't have anything. So he attacks into the Beast so that he can draw a card off the Simulacrum. And now I can't play Raphelos because the Evincar is going to kill it. And then what happens here? Teneb comes back out. And then Gadok Teague comes back. And here's the other issue, though, is that with Teague out there... Oh, yeah. I screw up here. With Teague out there, I cannot use the Return to Dust. So what I do is I pay extra life because I'm like, sweet, a Chroma's Memorial. I can start, like, putting stuff out there and giving it haste and protection and stuff like that, forgetting that I can't actually freaking cast it because Teague is out there. So, instead, I just bust out Sisay again. and then I duplicate the Evincar just to make it go away. And then I only attack with Linvala, getting Michiko back into my hand. Once again, the Evincar player has something massive in his hand that he cannot cast yet. Teneb plays Cloud Goat Ranger, creating a bunch of tokens. And then Vigor. Vigor is an issue. So I've got Momentous Fall and a bunch of other random lands. I decided to search up Kamal. And I've got Gaia's Cradle out there. So, I'm like, alright, I'm going to start overrunning things now. Because the game has gone on long enough for me. So I attack the Evincar player because he's lower on life and I just want him to go away sooner. However, yeah, he Flicker Wisps my Teague, which I kept behind anyways. And this is a little bit of a misplay here because he still can't cast whatever he wants to cast because it's in the middle of the attacking step. Because I didn't pump my guys enough. I wanted to keep some guys back just because there was, you know, I'm only at 24. So he kills off Reki. He's at 5, and I just should have gone in with like one more guy. But I didn't. He's at 5. I'm at 24. The Teneb plays at 32, but I've got a full hand. And now that Teague's gone, I'm going to go ahead and return to dust the last 2 enchantments that were causing problems and artifacts. And I can also play Akroma's Memorial now. And Teague does come back to protect me. Evincar player has nothing going on. Teneb player plays Puppeteer Click. Well, there's not actually anything really cool in any of the graveyards, so he attacks me with Teneb. Basically his whole crew. And this is where I kind of screw up. I accidentally block Kamal, block the Ranger with Kamal, which is just dumb. And I put the duplicate in front of Teneb. It's because the protection abilities, I just completely forgot about the protection stuff. How it works. It's just dumb. For some reason I thought they had pro white. And I'm an idiot. So, yeah. And then everybody else decides to quit at this point. Now, I was still in a very good position here. Yeah, the Teneb player quits, and then I kill off the Evincar player. Because I still had the Sword of Light and Shadow out, which would have allowed me to bring the Kamal my Kamal back into my hand, and so that I could have killed everybody off next turn. It basically meant that like it took me an extra turn. I would have won at this point anyways right now if I had been smart and not blocked the way I did, but it was late and I was tired, whatever. So anyways, you can see how the deck is kind of a little more slow and controlling than typical. It's not like an aggro bum rush deck, but it'll eventually get there. Alright, thanks.